LDO पोस्ट. सो ह्या ठिकाणी सर्वात महत्त्वाचं एवढं आहे की जो सिलॅबस आणि ज्या पद्धतीची रूपरेषा समोर असेल, तर कशा पद्धतीनं आपण तो अभ्यास करू शकतो. सिलॅबस कशा पद्धतीनं कव्हर करायचा. त्यानंतर प्रिव्हियस इयर क्वेश्चन्स कशा पद्धतीनं त्याला अभ्यासायचे आणि हाऊ टू गो फॉरवर्ड. सो धिस लेक्चर वुड बी कन्साइज इन मॅनर. यामध्ये सर्वात महत्त्वाचा विषय हाच आहे की हाऊ वन शुड प्रोसीड विथ दी एक्झाम स्ट्रॅटेजी. So what about the strategy? Strategy is with regard to the given syllabus. So there has always been a query whether we should start the syllabus or we should rather refer previous year question papers. But my answer would always be that we should have combined strategy. In one hand, we should start preparing for it, like reading syllabus according to the given topic, and thereby reviewing some of the questions which already have been asked in the previous exam. तर अशा पद्धतीनं आपण त्याची सुरुवात करू शकतो. सो वन फॅसेट वुड बी सिलॅबस, सेकंड वुड बी प्रिव्हियस इयर क्वेश्चन पेपर, and the kind of book list which is always essential. At this juncture, many of us would be bombarded with several notes, online, offline, a friend circle, and then different sort of media circles. तर अशा पद्धतीमध्ये एकच गोष्ट लक्षात घ्यायची आहे की वी शुड बी मच थरो विथ अवर बुकिश नॉलेज. बुकिश इन अ सेन्स विच शुड बी अप्लिकेबल इन दी एक्झाम. तर अशा पद्धतीनं त्याचा एक अप्रोच आपला असला पाहिजे. हिअर वी हॅव डिफरंट स्ट्रॅटेजीज. तर एक एक करत आपण प्रत्येक सब्जेक्ट वाईज आणि सिलेबस वाईज जाऊ. And later when the batch would get started, at that time individual teacher would teach you, would guide you preferably how to read that particular topic and how to answer those questions which may be asked in the exam. अशा पद्धतीने एक स्ट्रॅटेजी आपली असणार आहे. So foundation would be starting a new batch here, which would comprise exam and interview. This would be an integrated batch. I guess last date would be around 19th May. So the subjects with regard to veterinary sciences and animal sciences would be covered by respective individual teacher, and the current affairs session would also be carried out by some prominent faculties. So we all know lot of posts have been declared, and we just need to grab this opportunity, because if you could clear this time, then it is always possible you could succeed positively ahead. आणि जर समजा यामध्ये थोडंसं काही कमी वगैरे पणा आला की इफ यू कुड नॉट क्लिअर दिस एक्झाम, देन म्हणजे खूप सारे थोडेसं हार्ड टास्क आहे. नो डाऊट यू कॅन जॉईन एनी अदर सर्व्हिसेस, बट दिस इज गोल्डन अपॉर्च्युनिटी फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. So I think we should not miss this one, because it is always crucial for all of us to get into the service. So this is our basic criteria upon which this particular service is dependent. तर यामध्ये सर्वात महत्त्वाचं एवढे सारे पदं आलेले आहेत. आय पर्सनली फील all of you should start preparing for it. Even if you are in private sector, even if you are outside the like veterinary services, and if you want to join this one, I think you should keep your work aside. Your job profile might be very hectic, but still you should manage it properly and take out some 2-3 hours in a day and kindly read the syllabus and appear for the exam. End of the day, it should not happen like one should not feel regrettable about it, that I should have read, I should have uh, covered the syllabus. At the end of the day, we must answer the questions which would be reflected in the paper. For that, we need to get enormous knowledge by reading different sort of books. So yeah, this particular advertisement is there in public domain. You can go through it properly. My main focus would be around the syllabus. So I would start topic wise, and then what kind of questions would be there. That would be most important for us. These are different facets of application. You can go through it. So now the core area upon which I have been assigned to talk to you is the syllabus. So it comprises several topics, including veterinary sciences along with the animal sciences. Different subjects are there. All of us have completed BBSC and AH. All of us, barring few individuals, have appeared for ICAR exam to pursue our post graduation in different national and state universities. So we know the difference of these subject wide preparations and syllabus. So according to the paper, so there has always been a case like doubt in so many individuals' mind ki whether there would be a written or directly if sufficient candidates are not like filling those forms, and ultimately they may carry out interview, but it is a matter of guess. We do not exactly know at the juncture. So it is always better one should start preparing from examinations perspective. Just keep one thing in your mind, that we will be appearing for exam, that is a written one, objective, then interview. So if something comes apart from this, that would be bonus for us. But at this juncture, at this point in time, we should start reading books, newspaper, and magazines as if you are appearing for a written examination. So here there should not be any but, like what would happen, whether any news is coming in or not. So we should not give more emphasis on that, because there would be a lot of discussion around this. So I would urge you people to kindly concentrate on the subjects which are essential from written examinations perspective. So here we come. This is a slide directly prepared from the advertisement. Like, so topic is like they have distinguished this topic in different subjects: a clinical subject, paraclinical subjects. So we know clinical subjects: medicine, surgery, gynecology. So during our BBSC and AH program, we all have gone through these nuances, topic wise, subject wise. But strategy should be like, if you do not have sufficient time, then merge two, three correlated subjects. Just for instance, if you are not that much inclined to read parasitology, you can immerse yourself into the medicine subject. You can start reading medicine. Thereby, you can cover virology, bacteriology, and parasitic diseases. So, obviously, different topics are there. So, if a single disease appears before, then you can thoroughly read. You can read the causative agent, then pathology, then treatment, prognosis. Even while reading treatment, you may witness some of the drugs in a sense, medicine, pharmacology part. So if you get sufficient time, you can directly switch to pharmacology. Say, for instance, one particular disease is presented before us. Suppose gastritis is there. We may use n number of medicines, but if you could use some gentamicin, amikacin, metronidazole. So instead of focusing on enumerating these drugs, I would preferably ask you to go for in detail. Say, for instance, mechanism of action, how metronidazole work, then different sort of systemic pharmacological products like drugs which are there. So likewise, one can cover this topic. Then we have obviously surgery and radiology. This is very essential topic because from surgery perspective, more or less focus is given on anesthesiology. So that part is very much essential. Some question might be asked with regard to propofol, which particular drug would cross blood-brain barrier, which particular drug would have more dissociative anesthetic effect. So even recovery phase would be smooth. So likewise, small nuances are there. So you can read and remember these particular topics. We also have surgical aspect, like while carrying out a particular surgery, we may often face anatomical situation like uh, muscles from inner to outer or from outer side to inner side, which muscle oftenly get involved, then nerve, a typical arteries. So like that, anatomical perspective should also be included while reading surgery. Then obviously veterinary gynecology and obstetrics. So this subject is often essential when we start reading physiology. So I would urge you people to first read physiology, then you can in physiology, endocrinology, then you can come over here and start reading some of the basic topic of gynecology. Few medicines would be there, dose rate, then mode of action, mechanism of action. So these are quite essential topics. So I mean to say, if you could start a particular topic by taking into account one particular subject, then we must start interlinking those subjects with the underlying topics. Say, for instance, if we start reading gynecology, we must understand physiology thoroughly. We must understand endocrinology very thoroughly. So, few topics are also included in LPM subject: stress synchronization, embryo transfer technology. So, these are quite essential topics. GC Banerjee, that particular book contains lot of essential topics, so one can go through it. So likewise, comprehensive study could be carried out. Then we do have paraclinical subject: pathology, parasitology, microbiology, pharmacology, product technology, LPT, public health and epidemiology. So here one can start with any of the subject, and wherever possible you can interlink. So how to read? So just going to the library or sitting at room, you can open the book and start reading. Don't do like this. Just kindly go through some of the past previous year question papers, and you will understand while reading that book that this particular topic has been highlighted in the question paper, or question has been asked on this particular topic. So likewise, you will never forget that topic in near future, because what we are reading is most essential. Just like layman, you are going to mug up everything, but at the end of the day you may not be able to answer the question. So it is always preferably good to go and read some questions, then start reading this topic. So thereby we can understand this particular strategy. Same with regard to pathology, parasitology, microbiology. So these are very encompassing subjects. If you start reading medicine, you will witness pathology, parasitology, microbiology. Then obviously pharmacology, toxicology. In case of toxicology, few portion are very much essential. So those toxicological part need to be learned by heart. So their mechanism of action, the doses, the kind of formula which is often being used, then the mechanism of action. I'm repeating this issue on and often because this is very crucial from the perspective of pharmacology. Same can be applied with regard to uh, antimicrobials, with regard to different systemic drugs. So pharmacology need to be thoroughly studied. So before you could embark on this subject, you need to start your basic foundation. So that foundation would start with regard to physiology. So you should start reading physiology and anatomy, then you can jump upon these subjects. Then we have livestock product technology. So in case of LPT, we do often think about merging this subject with a VPH. Okay, so no doubt you can start reading LPT by memorizing or even observing some of the previous year question and directly jump to the public health and epidemiology. So both the subjects can be read together. You can have greater understanding on this one. Then we do have anatomy, as I stated earlier. So this C portion can be taken care of at the earliest. I would rather prefer to say at this juncture, at this point in time, when everyone is confused about what would happen. So at this juncture, you can start reading this anatomy and physiology. Bear in mind, when you start reading some of the core subjects, the systemic wala, that time these subject, the basic subject would help you a lot. So anatomy would be quite difficult to understand and even mug up at this point in time, but over the period of time, reading upon reading on several occasions, you may understand this topic very well. And when you start correlating anatomy and physiology with the gynecology, medicine and surgery, that time you would definitely enjoy this one. So even if I cannot understand some of the anatomical terms, or no need to like mug up all the definitions and some of the topics, you can just go back, read previous year questions, whether any question has been asked on this particular topic. If yes, kindly go thoroughly. So side by side, lateral, bilateral, like vertical, horizontal, nearby topics can be covered in this area. Then production related subjects are there: veterinary, animal husbandry, extension education, livestock production management, then genetics and breeding and nutrition. So these are very essential topics. These are broad topics, enumerated like 1, 2, 3, 4, but these are broad topic. You need to give more emphasis on this one. So if you want to read separate book for individual topic, well and good. Otherwise, you can rely upon GC Banerjee. No doubt, extension related topic would be very meager in nature in that book, but these particular issues like LPM, genetics and nutrition is amply covered. So you can go through that book. So before starting or embarking on that path, you can just go through previous year question papers. So this is very essential. I'll just highlight through my lecture itself that what one should focus upon and what one should overlook while preparing for this one. So here we can just think about some of the question papers. Like I just recall last time one question was asked with regard to glucose level in cat. So that is renal threshold. So once we start reading physiology or pharmacology, we will come to know what exactly these renal thresholds are. So if question was asked with regard to cat, next time a probability would be there. The different sort of questions would be asked on the same line. So for example, I'm just giving you one narration. If you start reading physiology, neural renal threshold which I just mentioned, just go through all the breed wise species wise threshold level. Here threshold is like there is a capacity beyond which glucose cannot be absorbed in the kidney, and ultimately it will come into the urine. So glycosuria we often call it. So this question would be there in different notes which is being circulated across the social media, but we need to understand those particular questions at its base. So therefore book reading is always essential. No doubt few individuals might be there on field in company doing some corporate job. They may not be getting that sufficient time, but it is always better to equip yourself with this comprehensive knowledge of the individual subject. You can like everyone has a mobile, you can just google it properly. Lot of websites are there. You can read individual topic from it whenever and wherever you will get a sufficient time. So you can just spend few hours, even if few minutes are there, you can note down few topics in your diary that for coming 4 5 days I would be covering up this particular subject. So likewise, if you could read question papers, previous year question papers, you will come to understand that these topics are very much essential, so you can just focus on those topics. So likewise physiology, pharmacology, parasitology, gynecology, these are essential topics. So my understanding of the subject is, or even I would urge you to follow the same, we all must start reading basic papers, previous year papers and basic books of individual subject. So I'm not creating some sort of a panic situation here. I'm just asking you to go through some of the basic notes we used to do in the UG. During UG classes we used to prepare like that. So you can just go back and read. This is not an annual exam being conducted by university or respective colleges. So GACE is very much uh, what I would say not lucky enough to what I would say roll around this topic. So it is always essential. We must not guess. Rather, we should focus more on the basic reading. So my thought would always be, again I am repeating, that one should have substantial reading of previous year question paper and the books of the respective subjects which are mentioned in the syllabus. Do not read anything outside this syllabus, because this is a framework within which questions would be asked. Then one more topic is there with regard to animal production subject, extension. No doubt 6 7 or 8 numbers question would always be asked on this front. Every year you would see at least 6 or 7 questions on this topic, maybe with regard to ICT, information communication technology, extension, different topics of extension. Then basic principle of sociology, then different panchayat raj system, then different 5-year plans were there. No doubt at this juncture, 5-year plans are abolished or they are not working. We have Niti Ayog, which has created, or Niti Ayog has given us some vision plan, strategic vision, long term, short term vision. But those 5-year plans are essentially required uh, to remember and read. There may be a question on that front. Then we can start with regard to genetic. So here again you can go and read a few subjects regarding subjects, in a sense a few topics regarding breeding, molecular genetics, then the basic population genetics. So this particular topics would be covered by myself. So again same strategy would be there. You need to read previous year question papers and the basic book. So individual topics are there. I would narrate one by one to you in due course of time. So to understand strategy, two things are coming out very distinctly and clearly, that we should focus more on questions and thereby picking up those questions and observing or analyzing a particular topic in the book. This should be a strategy going forward. Then, in case of genetics, population genetics plays crucial role. Then, inbreeding, outbreeding, those particular classifications are there. So, those are also essential topics. Then we have how different breeds are being created. So, what is outbreeding, outcrossing? So, these are different concepts. Then, few questions would be there from uh, biotechnology perspective that can be covered in genetics itself. So these are essential topics. Then we have animal nutrition, where once you start reading physiology, keep one thing in your mind. Few hormones which you would be reading there might be while reading nutrition, micronutrients, mechanism of action. So everything is correlated. So before you could start your pharmacology or nutrition, one must understand and even basically prepare ourselves by reading physiology. So this is also crucial from our perspective. Then we do have, just like earlier I mentioned, in case of psychology, toxicology, this part is also crucial one. Then few questions how, like in between I'm going to tell you like questions and thereby the topic as and when I could recollect them. Just like photosensitization, this topic was there, like this question was there in previous year exam. So that was very specific with regard to some algae. Then one or two plants were given there. So if you start reading this photo sensitization or photosensitivity, then you should thoroughly read this particular topic from toxicology perspective. Then type 1, type 2, type 3, which plant, how the mechanism plays its role, what are the pathophysiological mechanism that is there. Then we have some pathological lesions, how to treat them, how to avoid that particular condition. So likewise, what would happen, you would have sufficient knowledge on theoretical aspect, also on the practical aspect when you start reading or actually applying it through medicine perspective. So this is also very essential. And again few more topics, just now I have mentioned like gynecology part. Again, repeat, you can start a gynecology. So gynecology related questions, like in a sense, a different core gynecology, like what we have done during our UG courses, Easter synchronization, then embryo transfer technology, then latest semen sorting. I do not recollect any question has been asked on that front, but we should be more prepared this. Then biotechnology part also comes in. That could be taken care of in animal genetics and breeding. So likewise, syllabus has to be covered. So in nutshell, I would just tell one thing. Before starting preparing for this exam, kindly go through some of the previous year question papers. Based upon those questions, you can choose a particular topic and start reading it by taking into consideration the holistic book. You need to have individual book for a particular topic. Just do not blindly rely on WhatsApp University. Few notes are coming in from here and there, and you will like create some kind of euphoria that okay, I got this note, that note would just clear my way towards prelims and interview. No doubt, lot of posts are there. You are, uh, you can see some low hanging fruit. You can pluck it very well and very easily. But we should not let any stone unturned. Like every facet, every topic, every nuances should be properly read, as if there are very less amount of post and I want to clear this exam. So it would help you even if interviews are conducted. It would boost your confidence. When we have enormous knowledge with regard to given subject, then that confidence basically makes our attitude positive towards the exam. So we understand the syllabus, one need to understand the questions, then we have to accordingly follow our strategy. I would be conducting genetics related topic, LPM, physiology, because these are very essential topics, and we often get a lot of questions on this front. So it would be fun to teach you on this line. So my requirement would always be you should read question papers and analyze them by yourself. Even if you are working in corporate arena, you can sit on decks, you can keep your iPad or mobile beside and just read simple topics daily. Thereby you can understand your syllabus, your questions, and uh, to that large extent your exam strategy would be fine tuned. So this is what I would be just focusing on, and last topic would always be with regard to the current affair. So I was just going through some of the question papers. So I did get a sense that you need to be very precise with regard to current affair. It is not a case where you will go into the market, buy one magazine, come back, and then start reading those magazines, or like mugging up entire data, and while answering questions in the real time paper or examination, you will solve those questions. This is not possible. Current affair is a long strategy, is a long term perspective game. Like you need to read newspaper, magazine thoroughly, at least daily, half an hour, 1 hour, like whatever time permits you. You can start reading those newspapers or magazines. So n number of questions are being asked, starting from river originates from which particular mountain in case of Maharashtra. Then we have a different, we call it paritoshik, okay, awards bestowed upon eminent personalities. Then author of very well-known personality, authors of a particular book might be published in recent years or might have been in news because of some positive or negative uh, issues. So likewise, these questions would be asked from literature perspective. Nobel prizes would be asked. Last time, I guess Abdul Razak sir had gotten Nobel Prize. So that a Paradise book was there, written by himself. So likewise, his name would be given, and the books options would be given. You need to pick one among them, like which one would be right. So when you will get this perspective once you start reading the current session, then some RTR related questions, no doubt everyone can secure good marks on that. Then we have science related topic, whether recently any satellite has been launched, uh, any new scheme has been launched by central government or state government with regard to environment. Then we do have a different set of questions with regard to sports, few awards. Then in case of tennis, uh, the championship. Then if recently some have been events have been organized in India, if those are in global perspective, so we need to understand which are those events, when did it get start, and who own the trophy and all. Like in case of under 19, some under 19 or hockey tournament, even in case at the global level you can have these many uh, different topics in mind, and you can read accordingly. Then one more essential topic is there, that is with regard to different uh, awards in case of sports also. Okay, so that I already have covered. And one more question was there with regard to Marathi Sahitya Sammelan. So that time it was during 2021. Recently also in Delhi, New Delhi, we had a 98th Marathi Sahitya Sammelan. So they would ask which year it was held, who was the presiding officer in a case, like अध्यक्ष कोण होते त्याचे. And this time Tara madam was there as a chairperson for Marathi Sahitya Sammelan, which was held in New Delhi. So that Sahitya Sammelan was also inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. So likewise, these big events would be there. So you need to read these current issues. So you can take some cue from previous year question paper, and accordingly you can analyze the current or contemporary news. Then with regard to some constitutional related topics, if a recent judge has been appointed as a Chief Justice of India, or eminent personality in different state high courts, then if Chief Justice of India has been appointed, then who was he before getting appointed? In how many high courts he served as a Chief Justice, or was he directly appointed from, like, say for instance, a senior advocate from bar, he might get directly appointed to Supreme Court of India, and thereby after getting seniority position he may be uh, appointed as the Chief Justice of India. So I mean to say, the history has to be read with regard to that person in news. Then we have different international organization. I just recall last time they had asked about World Trade Organization. The question was not with regard to when World Trade Organization was formed. Uh, Previously it was GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, and now during 1995 it became WTO. And they did not ask this one. They asked very precise question, like where state name was given, state in a sense city name or nation's name would be given, and in front of him, in front of that, years would be given, like ministerial conference was held during this particular year in this particular country. So likewise detail has to be chalked out, and this is not hard task. If you could go by WTO news through newspaper, you will understand this one. So, with I mean to say, how one should focus. We should focus uh, on international relations, a lot of like World Bank, IMF, WTO, Asian Development Bank, European banks. And then different institutions are there. Few conferences are there with regard to environment, UNFCC, and we have under it Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement. Then with regard to trade, now a lot of buzz is being created around tariff, how America is imposing base level tariff 10% on every country with whosoever America is trading nowadays. Then we have Quad, QAD Quad. Four nations are involved. That is a strategic alliance. We also G7, G20. Recently, we had like a few years ago G20 summit. The new nation was added, or union was added in this. So which union was that? African Union, a group of nation. So likewise these international news are there. We need to understand them one by one. So these many issues cannot be understood at one go. So therefore you need to create a strategy where individual topic can be given sufficient time. So this can happen if we start reading newspaper and magazine on daily basis. So likewise question would be taken over here with regard to current affair and all. So like this a strategy would be there. So I hope more or less comprehensive outlook you can get from this particular lecture. So wherever possible I would be there to help you out. I would be there to take few topics, and we would set some questions so that it would be always good for us to go forward smoothly. So it is always good again and again to remind you, because I put more emphasis on this. uh, you should start preparing right now. Like you already should have started when the advertisement got gotten into the public domain, but time has not gone. You can start by now without getting involved in the debate, chatting in the group by asking several questions whether a written would be there or interview would be there. So just by gossiping on this particular topic, you may not be able to know these gone by days then. So don't waste your time in chatting on these particular topics. It is up to the commission. They would decide whether exam would be carried out or not, whether interviews would be taken directly or not. Our main job, our main aim should always be that we should focus more on a written examination and study the basic books. So how one should read a basic book? By taking into account the previous year question papers. Thereby you can understand this. So likewise we can start preparing from this. So hope we will meet in upcoming sessions. Suraj,